Pandin doje changwa rigun shabda lama karma ba jinguru gunjin junay sishe banjuri idam nanjur ma chane gunje chebo wanjur chuchung peshin chamral nanjur zechi guben dudon rame duje jongwa chodo jagung owa peman jong donga sungshu tenpa bewe siri chenze wese jawe nyugu Tishu denbe janzen so wan de yunten sanje gu nanyam na yang kajin sanje le jan la hua ye sawe la me shabla shasa dakso drowe lam na chue la chong. Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to remind you in the sense, of course, I believe all of you generating bodhicitta in everyday life with your practice. But here, remind you again to generate bodhicitta in order to benefit sentient beings through the conducting the practice with the study, contemplation, and the meditation. The topic this afternoon of teaching is Guru Yoga. This is not something like a very special or very difficult subject or very difficult discussion or difficult practice. This is rather very simple as long as you are a very genuine practitioner of Vajrayana, which we always call the source of a blessing is the Guru, and the source of the siddhi is the yidam, and the source of the activity is the Dharma protector. So these three sources are very general, very common in the practice of Vajrayana. And today, among these three, and we are going to discuss on the subject of Guru Yoga. Guru, Sanskrit term, in Tibetan, Lama. Yoga, Sanskrit term, in Tibetan, Naljor. Now, I have to explain this particular term. Lama, which means La in Tibetan words, means above. Ma is a word of negation, which means no one else other than the person who is upstairs there or above there, which means the person who teaches you or who instructed you very essential teaching, very essential or very profound teaching, who let you awaken your mind or who let you open your mind, who let you see your true nature. So that is the person we call Lama. So with this, Lama has three different aspects. Number one, Lama, that is the relatively, as an individual who teaches you, who gives a teaching. Number two, Lama as external examples or the symbolics. Number three, the Lama is the ultimate true nature. Now, number one, Lama as an individual, there are two different aspects, general Lama and a particular Lama. General Lama refers to individuals who give you general teachings, like the general teachings of Mahayana, the general teachings of the Hinayana, the general teachings of the Vajrayana, the teachings that help you to understand the basic framework of the Buddhism or basic framework of the practice of Buddhism, which you are able to develop the wisdom, and through this wisdom that you can distinguish between what is the virtue, what is the non-virtue, and what is the right path, what is the wrong path. That sort of distinguishment which you can establish through the wisdom, which are very much based upon the teachings of that you receive from General Lama. So these individuals, whoever you met the connection with the practice of study, contemplation, meditation, I'll consider as a general guru or general lama. This lama, this guru, does not have sense of yoga. So we just call lama, we just call guru, but there is no connection to the yoga, guru yoga. Now, second, specific the guru or particular guru is the individual who introduce your true nature of mind. From there, you realize or identify fully or openly, completely your true nature of mind with the help of the teaching that is conducted by a particular person or particular individual. So that particular individual we consider as the root guru. Tibetan word, it calls Tsawe Lama. Tsawa is root or fundamental or most essential or potentiality is the Tsawa. So root, only one. Branches can be many. You can have general lama or general instructor or teacher as many as you wish. But the main instructor or the Tsawe Lama is the only one, because this individual, like a Milarepa to Kampupa, like a Marpa to Milarepa, like this, who gives you potential, the most essential teaching is given. From there you realize true nature of mind. So she or he is simultaneously become the root guru. In this respect, I myself feel quite uncomfortable when you say he or she is my root guru, or she or he is my Tsawe Lama. But Tsawe Lama or root guru, it comes right after when you realize your true nature of mind, not before. Cannot be before. It's the condition that even he or she performed the initiation in Tantrayana, Vajrayana, when he or she performed the initiation. So he or she asks you remain your mind in a state of peace and a harmony, and then visualize yourself in the Samaya Sattva, then they invoke or invite the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the form of the Jhana Sattva. Jhana Sattva dissolve into your body, speech, mind. There your body, speech, mind is mingled or become inseparability with the body, speech, mind of the Jhana Sattva. There you realize or recognize your true nature of mind. Then the performer you call Vajra master or Doji Lopen spontaneously become your Vajra master. Not before. At that moment, so he or she becomes your Vajra master, and yourself become the Vajra disciple. When we talk about Vajra master, this is very much the term that you use in the practice of Vajrayana or Tantrayana. But Tsawe Lama, the root guru, is a very simple word you use in general in the practice of like a Mahamudra or Mahāti. But then, at the same time, introduction of your true nature of mind has two different proceed or approaches. Number one approach, it's a direct introduction. Let's say the master asks you to do retreat, couple of months or couple of years, that it depends on the situation. And the master himself or herself know your capacity, your capability. And then after some time, as a process, the teaching upgrades. according to level of your capacity of understanding or the realization. After some time, then you fully realize your true nature of mind without performing initiation or rituals or opening mandala, etc., but a very direct and a very open and a very straightforward teaching, completely open your mind. So this is the way of performance of the introduction of your true nature of mind through the very simple way of training in the Mahamudra and Mahāti, a little bit related to the general and Sutrayana way. Then in the Vajrayana, when we talk about realizing our true nature of mind, they use the term of inseparability of the blissfulness and emptiness. Tibetan words, de tong. But this particular term we don't use in Sutrayana or in the general teaching of the Mahayana, or no, the Mahāti and as well as Mahamudra. But this is very much a typical term or a very particular term that we use in the Vajrayana, so that the realization of or the ultimate experience of the inseparability of the blissfulness and the emptiness is a come from the four empowerments: the empowerment of a vase, empowerment of a secret, empowerment of wisdom, prajna, then the empowerment of a word. First empowerment is the empowerment of the vase, where you can gain the experience or the realization of the inseparability of the appearance and emptiness. In Tibetan words, nang tong irme. Then the second, empowerment of secret. After practice of this particular empowerment, then what you can gain, the ultimate experience, is the experience of inseparability of the clarity and its emptiness. Tibetan words, sartong irme. Then number three, the third empowerment is the empowerment of wisdom. After practicing this empowerment or initiation or abhisheka, what you can gain experience from this particular practice is the ultimate experience of the inseparability of the blissfulness and its emptiness. Tibetan words, detong irme. Now these three initiations or abhishekas, the abhisheka of the vase and the secret and the wisdom, is just the abhisheka of a path. Path in the sense of like the path of a training. Path of a training your essential mind through the exercising of the initiations or abhishekas. So once you have trained well or understood or realized these three initiations or the abhishekas, so what the result or the fruition that you can adopt from these three initiations is the initiation of the word. So there you can gain the ultimate experience, that is the inseparability of the primordial awareness and its emptiness. Tibetan words, riktong irme. These four ultimate experiences of, as I explained, there are four inseparabilities. Like inseparability of our base is emptiness, but with appearance and clarity, blissfulness, and the primordial awareness. Doesn't mean within the realization of emptiness or the state of the emptiness has a different four aspects of inseparability from. But these are just the experience to the great yogis when they go through the experiences of such, that when they are able to develop their essential experiences or realization, then one can experience this extraordinary, like an inexpressible experience which cannot describe into word or into term, but simply or merely that you can experience it. This is a tremendous experience that comes from the deeper level of the training your mind through the instrument of the abhishekas. So after 4 empowerments, there's no doubt this particular individual be enlightened in this single life. That's why we call the empowerment in the Vajrayana is a much or high or highest or greatest vehicle from the rest of the vehicles. So this is the ultimate meaning of Lama. Lama does not refers to the individual's characteristic. It's a rather characteristic of your practice of ultimate practice, where you proceed and approach without making or without engaging any mistakes or faults in your practice, because you are very much matured from the ultimate instructions given by your guru. So because of this, towards the end of Guru Yoga, say, or my mind and the mind of a guru is inseparable. So which means everything is the sense or the meaning of ultimate, not the relative. Relative, you cannot mingle your mind and his mind or her mind. It's a totally different elements. But ultimately, element itself is the very much a state of the absolute or the essential state. So therefore, Guru Yoga, Lame Naljur, don't think this is something to do with the individual who is in the form of a human being. It's rather telling you indirectly the quality or the potentiality of the ultimate understanding or realization. So that is the actual meaning of Guru. Guru, Sanskrit term, itself tells us something heaviness. What heaviness? The heaviness of quality. Heaviness, the heaviness of something that is the quality which gives us understanding. If you practice, if you realize, if you actualize that quality, one can get rid of all this samsaric darkness, which able to bring you to the state of where the completely clear and the brilliant and the free from all kinds of the negativities. So that sort of the function or that sort of activity that gives or present by the realization of heaviness. So that's why the term the Guru is the heaviness of the quality. Then what is yoga? Guru, yoga. There is a connection, isn't it, between Guru and the yoga. Yoga means path. Tibetan words lam. Now, the true meaning of yoga in Tibetan we call nal jor. This is very important, so audiences should understand. Yoga is not something exercise. Yoga is not something that you play something role, different role, but yoga is something our very everyday life, which we need to pay attention, which we need to work with our mind. It's a very simple path, which is we call yoga. Nal jor. Nal means the true, or unfabricated. And it could be meant also fresh. Our mind is not fresh as yet. Our mind is diluted with all kinds of the disturbing emotions. So our mind is always unclear. Our mind is going through every day with the emotion, anger, jealousy, pride, all kinds of negative factors inside the mind. So there's no true peace, there's no true harmony, there's no true compassion, there's no true altruistic attitude, there's no true the restfulness at all. Almost every day, our mind has no rest, state of rest, no fear. Sometimes they're very fearful, sometimes too much expectation, sometimes this and that. There's no space or the state where your mind can rest at all. So therefore, our mind is full of disturbances. And by the blessing of Guru, the blessing of his or her teaching apply within, from there you practice very seriously, genuinely, and you are working with your mind, then gradually or slowly you are able to bring down the force of the disturbing the mental factors. And then from there you can build up or adopt the true and the real peace and harmony and restfulness. So from there you can reach the state where you can mind fully rest. So that is we call null. Jaktorow. Jaktorow means reach. You have reached to that state of where your mind is completely free from the destruction and the disturbances, even though there are obstacles, hindrances, and the distractions, yet these factors does not make you move your mind or shake your mind, cannot disturb any longer your mind. So that sort of a state of a mind is where you reach. So that is called Jaktorow. Then you reach the state of null, where your mind is absolutely free from those obscurations. So the Guru Yoga is not simply you recite some prayers or some supplications. You understood that, right? So when you say, I have done my Guru Yoga practice, doesn't mean that a certain number of the recitation of prayer is done. But here done means perfectly done, something that is from within, not from the outside of book or instruction. So where your mind is mingled, the mind of the Guru, which is the ultimate Guru is your realization. Ultimate Guru is your true realization or actualization. So if you are able to mingle with that mind, sort of the ultimate mind, so you should gain experience from there. You should gain actualization from the practice. So we consider you are perfectly done the Guru Yoga, not the number of you doing the relative Guru Yoga practice. Therefore, you must understand when we talk about the four foundation. When we talk about the four foundation, first is the refuge and the generating bodhicitta. You consider this is also preliminary practice. Number two, Dorje Sempa practice, Vajrasattva. That is also we consider the practice of preliminary. Number three, for accumulation for merit, practice of mandala offering. That is also part of your preliminary practice. And then number four, you call the foundation or the preliminary practice of Guru Yoga. But Guru Yoga is not preliminary practice at all. So they just put towards the end of your preliminary practice as a wonder practice, as a preliminary practice, because the great masters, a great idea, if you make a separate practice as a Guru Yoga, he or she thinks none of you will do that. So the idea of a preliminary practice, which you must finish before your practice, So you consider Guru Yoga is also part of a preliminary practice. I must finish it. This is kind of a good trick. But I suppose not to say it here now. But anyway, so it is a preliminary practice. It is, but essentially you should know this is the actual practice of a Mahamudra. Because if you are able to practice Guru Yoga very well, or very good, or perfectly done Guru Yoga practice, then you will be enlightened afterwards. You do not need to wait for some other practices. So sometimes it's quite funny when individual approach Guru said that, now I have done my 4 preliminary practices, what is the next? So next you just rest. Eat good food, ice cream, cake, roam around. Yeah, so that is the actually concept, the precept, something is wrong inside the practice. So this shows that your Guru Yoga is so-so. Because you are still asking question, what shall I do next? So that means you haven't done Guru Yoga quite, not nicely. So this idea, you should know, Guru Yoga is the actual practice, not preliminary practice. And we must know the key points in the Vajrayana practice. When we talk about Guru, Idam, and the Dhamma protector, and simply we say Guru is the source of a blessing and the Idam is something. But anyhow, eventually, towards the end of a practice, more you go into the deeper level of a practice of Vajrayana Buddhism or practice, one should utilize Yidam and the Dhamma protector and the Guru inseparably. Guru is the one who is inseparable from the Yidam. Guru is the one who is inseparable from the Dhamma protector. With that sort of determination or basic understand or the realization, then we practice Guru Yoga. If you have a concept, these 3 separate, Guru, Yidam, Dhamma protector, 3 others separate, and you engage practice separately, there is no way to achieve your practice Guru Yoga at all. So therefore, Guru is the only one who is a Yidam, who is a Dhamma protector, who is a Bodhisattva, Dakas, Dakinis, all in one. That sort of the determined realization, if you are able to adopt or fully established, there is no doubt that you can enlighten in this single life. Therefore, it says this is the reason why the Guru Yoga practice is called the profound part of Guru Yoga. Profound part of Guru Yoga. Therefore, to accomplish this realization of Mahamudra through the practice of Guru Yoga, individual who give you profound introduction, this is we regard as a Tsawe Lama, the root Guru. The Guru who gives you essential teaching. So he or she is your root Guru. That's why we call root. Root is only one. There's no another realization tomorrow someone give you. Or day after tomorrow you go somewhere, then you can say, oh, I found another realization. And then after 1 week there is the teaching campaign where you attend says, oh, I have another realization there. So the 100 realizations cannot impossible. Realization is only one. If you realize your true nature of mind through the practice of Mahamudra, at the same time you have been achieved the realization of a Mahāti and a Madhyamika and a Vajrayana practice all. No individuals in the past, the great master, so-called, this great master is realized Mahamudra practice, but not Mahāti. Is there anybody? I don't think so. I never heard of this so far. Maybe who knows next time. And wait and see. So realization is only one. Yeah? So that's why we say, that's why we call he or she is the root Guru. because of the power of your accomplishment of your practice with that particular the teacher or master, then because of the power of realization, the profound devotion is arising. Until that, our devotion is so-so. There's no stable devotion and faith. And you can experience that because your devotion is changing from time to time. Let's say today you have a profound devotion towards your teacher, but tomorrow maybe not. So it's like the climate these days, or the weather these days. Because it's not your fault at all. And the master will never blame you, say that, why don't you have a stable devotion towards me? The master will examine your devotion. Doesn't mean that he wants or he needs your devotion, but he feels pity that your devotion is changing, which means your ground is not solid enough for the practice. So therefore, the more giving arise the realization or understanding, the true actualization of the Mahamudra or whatsoever practice from the Guru Yoga, then the unfabricated, the devotion or clear devotion, profound devotion, genuine devotion, the devotion that lasts until you're fully enlightened is established because of your practice. So the devotion and your profound practice is interconnected. So your guru is, regardless of whether he is holding the name or title, or very ordinary being, or very poor, doesn't matter. We look for his or her quality rather than the external identity. So the more you value his or her teaching and his or her instruction, upon applying these, then the negative sides is reducing or subduing, and the positive sides like a compassion, loving kindness, the realization of a true nature mind, the devotion, and the ultimate bodhicitta keep arising, then automatically you will value the person who conducted such profound teaching to you. There is no change in your devotion, in your determination, in your confidence over the master. So that's how you make connection. The connection between the disciple and the master, the connection or the relation is stable, never changes, and it never shakes with any circumstances come to. Otherwise, if there is no stability in your relation through the practice, or just ordinarily you make a relation, then there is a disturbances. And then this relation is a very fragile, doesn't really last, because sometimes you say, oh, my guru is not happy today, I don't care. Or really like that, sometimes you are very happy because he or she is smiling at me, he's giving me good teaching, or then, because there is very much that you are on the basis of a relative way, let's say that he's happy or he's not happy, or he's really nice to you or he's not nice to you, or he's so kind to you or not kind to me. It's regardless. If your devotion is established through the practice, the profound practice. Otherwise, your devotion is very much depends his or her mood, right? And your own mood. So your mood is good, devotion is there. If your mood is so-so, devotion is also so-so. So that's how the relation is not there. Therefore, the practice is so-so, and then the path of a practice is so-so, then the realization is not there. I think so. With this practice, then the second, the guru of the external, the symbols, right? Symbolic flowers, trees, waterfalls, mountains, sun and the moon, the stars, and a wave of ocean. All these phenomena are your guru as well. These are we call external, the factors which is your guru. Then the inner, with the emotion, your anger, your jealousy, your pride, your desire, all these disturbing emotions are also your guru. And also at the state of virtue, like devotion, compassion, loving kindness, as well as like bodhicitta, the virtues of action of body, speech, and mind are all your guru. As you are a practitioner, in everyday life there is no ordinary things. So each and every single of these external factors and internal factors, including your emotion, your thoughts, your feelings, if you work with them, if you deal with them, if you apply or bring them as an object of your practice, or bring them as a supporter to your practice, then these factors automatically become your guru, your instructor, your teacher. That's why Milarepa sings his doha. You can read, he ever says that I don't need to read books and the texts because that everything is my text and my book. And I'm reading every day and every hour. So this is also very helpful for as a practitioner when you walk around and when you talk with the people and when you do something, and don't do or don't perform everything out of ignorance or out of the carelessness. Do with the attention, do with the cultivating wisdom to realize something from each and every these factors. So ultimately you see that every single external phenomena that gives you certain understanding and a certain realization. Then the ultimate master or ultimate guru is your own trueness of mind, which is existed there at all times. The power of ultimate guru, we are able to do practice. Power of ultimate guru, we can give a rise devotion, compassion, loving kindness, and we can develop all the profound qualities. If absence of the ultimate guru, then all our effort for the practice is useless and baseless. So the whole idea of Guru Yoga here, I try to describe in short, in brief, is that is not simply you are very particular with the number of the recitation of Guru Yoga practice, but it is rather try to bring more your mind into the mind of the ultimate the Guru, and the Guru Yoga in the sense of like that you are trying to open up your mind and bringing up your qualities of the mind, and as well as to realize, to identify, or to recognize, to actualize all the practices. That is the general sense of the Guru Yoga. Not that simply you visualize your Guru, his or her nose, eye, ear, neck, his stylish, and his way of his dressing, where is he spoken, where he's eating, drinking. It's not the way of your doing practice of Guru Yoga at all. And at the same time, sometimes you can say, oh, my Guru is sick, so now I have to visualize he is sick, in the form of a sickness, right? So then every aspect of his movement or her movement you have to visualize, because to make sure that he is not sitting there movelessly. He is moving around. So then you have to visualize he's in the shopping center now. Then you have to, sometimes if you hear, oh, he's in the somewhere like in the big town. So you have to visualize the big town, and then the particular that shop or particular that restaurant, then you have to visualize him is eating. So very complicated situation in the sense of your practice of Guru Yoga. And when he is sleeping, then you have to visualize he is sleeping. And then you have to visualize he is snoring. Right? So too much insight. This is a very complicated way, too much holding on to the very solid way of visualizing Guru Yoga. So to be free from this kind of a complicated situation, one should visualize his true nature of mind. Where does he come from? He comes from his own true nature of mind. Why he is so important? Because he has done his practice. Why he is so important to you? Because he is going to teach you, or she is going to teach you. Why is so important this individual to you? Because he is showing, or she is showing you the right path. So that sort of imagination we have to build up through the practice of the Guru Yoga, not the surface of this particular individual. Half joke, but half serious. That's why you can find in the Guru Yoga practice what is the recitation of a prayer. You can say that, first I read in Tibetan, Lama Rinpoche la so that Dangzin lo ye tongwar chinji lop, guime ju la che war chinji lop, rangsim chumin nam tongga war chinji lop. So that is from the Pankar Jampa Sangbo. So it's missing from here, which I can understand because it is the first Kamapa Tusum Champa so the second Tuma, but so Chumin Nam Tongga war chinji lop is from the Pankar Jampa Sangbo. So edit later part. So therefore they're missing, but it's still okay. But these stanzas or the verses, what these verses tell us, you can understand. He said that I pray and supplicate my precious Guru, right? I pray and supplicate to my precious Guru. So call the Guru from afar intensely. Purpose is what? What are you calling? Why are you calling? Here, the first stanza of verses says, bless me to give up clinging to an ego, which means the ego is the source or origin of all the rest of the afflictions. In this context, you can understand if you hold on to your Guru, saying that my Guru. So it is related to the ego. Right? So it's not really healthy Guru Yoga practice when you say, I am visualizing my Guru. Sounds good, but it's not really free from the ego. And totally contradictory to what you are praying here, said that clinging to an ego, yet you are very much into it, said that my Guru, I am asking you, please help me. Second, bless me to realize that I have no needs. No need in the sense that no need to cling onto my Guru solidly. As long as his blessing is there, if I do my practice in a healthy way, if I catch up myself in the practice of, if I'm not losing on my path, if I'm doing correctly my practice, then no need to hold on to the Guru as saying that my Guru or my teacher. Then, although this Pankar Jampa Sampo's verse is not there here, but I still want to explain you. Chumin nam dong gak par ching yilop. Bless me that I can seize the negative or unvirtuous thoughts. In this sense, what is the virtuous thoughts? Is the thoughts that disturb your peace, inner peace, that disturb your proceed to the path of the Dhamma, the proceed to the realizations. So the virtuous action of a body, speech, or mind is being disturbed by any powerful thought, is we consider here is the negative thoughts or the unvirtuous thought. Bless me to realize that my mind is unborn. In Madhyamika system by Nagarjuna, he begins the Madhyamika teaching from the state of the unborn. And Nagarjuna says all the phenomena are neither arise from the self nor from the other, and neither from the both, and neither from the none of both. In Prajna Paramita or Jyot practice, we emphasize the syllable letter A. A symbolizes unborn. If one practitioner able to realize the true nature of a mind, so that means that you realize that your mind is unborn. Because of the unborn, then there is no location to be recited, and then there's the location to be seized. So the unborn is the source of the shunyata. Trupa Rangsa Shiva Shinjilop. Bless me that confusion naturally subside. In Mahamudra Mahati, all the teachings are performed for the naturally subsiding, because we don't need to negate all these emotions like your fears and expectations and etc. So once you are able to raise your mind, very natural state of the emotion itself or thoughts themselves, then there's no disturbance. Just a lack of looking closely into your thoughts. Then thoughts disturbs you. With the wisdom, if you are able to look into very seriously or closely your emotion, then as Shantideva says, the thoughts, emotions come from nowhere. This is just a part of the emptiness. So you look into closely the emotion themselves and the thoughts themselves means that you are helping them to bring them back to their own nature, which is your own true nature. Bless me to realize everything is Dhammakaya. Everything comes from Dhammakaya. Everything reflected from Dhammakaya. Everything arises from the Dhammakaya inseparably. But because the misconcept makes separate the appearances and its origin, then we call this as a samsara. If you are able to look into very nature of these appearances or phenomena, then there you have a capacity, or you are capable to realize that these appearances are never separated from this origin, which is the Dhammakaya. I cannot convince you to rely on with the full of confidence with your guru. Long time back, when you look at the life story of a Marpa and a Mila, and as well as the Milarepa and the Gampopa, and before that like a Naropa and a Telopa, it's something very, very extraordinary, the way they establish the strong confidence and the belief towards the Guru, and then the Guru, how to bring them to the right path. Although when you look at directly, there are some very funny, like the story in between, which we unable to think of such, but nowadays, degenerating time is very difficult, which is very obvious. So therefore, this teaching convinced highly, said that examine your teacher before making strong connection. Don't after make connection. Before making connection, your guru, you examine his movement or her movement, her or his the character or manner. Are these reliable individuals or not? Examination need to be performed, but very much ahead of such. If you examine the later part, once you have a made connection, and a made connection with the Dhamma practice, particularly like a profound practice for Guru Yoga, then it's a bit late, which is not good for both of you. Both of you means you student as a teacher. So therefore, the relationship between disciple and the master is a very profound. In one hand, it's very profound, other hand is very risky. So therefore, in order to get rid of such a complicated relationship, so one should be very careful to be examined before everything is started. Okay, so that's all.